Until Branches Bend is a psychological drama that follows two sisters, Robin and Lainey. And Robin finds a bug in the peach packing factory where she works, and she thinks it might be invasive, but when she brings it to her boss, he doesn't think it's something to get worked up over. It's her sort of struggling with trying to be believed, trying to prove that this bug is real, even though she can't find it. And also, there's a parallel storyline where she's pregnant and she is trying to get an abortion, and that's also quite difficult too.
Anyone else see it?
No.
I don't see eggs or anything. Peaches just rot.
We filmed in a place called the Okanagan, which is a region on the west side of Canada. I've always been very inspired by the landscape there. It seems like a very idyllic place. It's really beautiful in the summertime, and they have all this fresh fruit. And I guess that part of me wanted to question what could go wrong here, and I became very interested in monoculture and bugs and understanding how those types of things affected the agricultural industry there. Our original title for the film was Invasions, which we had to change because it sounded too much like a science fiction or like an action movie, and we decided to change it to Until Branches Bend, which we thought spoke more to the bit of the beguiling nature of the setting and also just more of the dramatic aspects of the film.
This is the best season we've had in years.
It's just a bad time to make a big deal out of something like that.
There's just so many rumors going around.
I wrote the first draft of the script in 2015, and then it took a long time to raise the money to make the film. It's also a Swiss co-production, and so what wound up being really challenging was in order to make up the co-production points, we have to hire Swiss workers and also cast members. And the pandemic made that very challenging. A lot of work visa entry stuff for Canada was very challenging. And then on top of that, when we were filming, it was one of the worst summers for wildfires in BC. It was a pretty intense summer for filming, and I think a lot of people on the crew, we felt very trauma bonded, I think, after the whole experience.
You made it all up.
Why?
I
really wish you would have listened to me.
My brother and I have been working for a long time together. He's a composer, his name is Sophie Jarvis. And the music was something that actually we came to in post. Sometimes I like to imagine the score before going into filming, but with this one I wasn't quite sure what it was gonna sound like. And I think in a way I'm happy that we waited till later to figure it out because, it helped me understand what kind of a movie it was that I was trying to make. And I was very inspired by films from the 70s that use flute a lot. I think there's something kind of playful but also sinister about the flute. When I wrote the script in 2015, Trump hadn't been elected yet. But of course, climate change has always been something that concerns us. And I think especially somewhere like BC, we feel the effects very strongly because there's so much nature there. So we notice when the seasons are different. We notice the fires because there's so much forest that can burn. Yeah, I think I wanted to touch on that and to touch on how climate change is connected to colonialism, and monoculture is something that the settlers brought with them. Indigenous people have a more, they didn't farm the way that settlers do. So the biodiverse nature of the landscape actually protects from a lot of the issues like wildfires or invasive insects and all of that. So essentially the film is about a man-made issue that requires humans to try to fix, even though nature is outside of their control.
I noticed that Robin is in the back there. Maybe you could answer that for us.
Okay.